There's so much pressure on women to be of the bridge between a man and his own family. It's ridiculous. Thank you for this comment because I hear this all the time from friends or, acquaintances and stuff who talk about not only is there this pressure coming from their own husbands to step in and do all the work and be like the secretary to this man's own family, the point of contact, the person who goes and buys the presents, the one who makes sure that everything's smoothed out between them. If there's any conflict, she's the one who's gonna somehow, maybe you should call your mom. Maybe your dad, all this emotional labor, all this like forced enmeshment somehow. So not only does it come from the husbands who just won't do it, who don't care, and they're like, cool, like whatever, I'll put this on her like literally everything else. But it also comes from inside us for two reasons. One, because we're raised under patriarchy as women to just take on all this stuff, to fix everything. When it comes to men and their relationships and men and their everything. Everything that is a man's problem is ours to fix. But on top of that, we know that, for instance, if your husband forgets to send his mom a Mother's Day card or get her flowers or go do something, it's not just a reflection bad on him, it's a reflection bad on you, right? Like, you look like a bad daughter-in-law, a bad person, and definitely a bad wife if he doesn't send his own mother a present for Mother's Day or her birthday. If the Christmas present or the whatever it is isn't good, it doesn't fall on him. You get judged. That is what's so messed up about all this, is that women know that. Even when they don't want to fix all this stuff, they know that they will pay a price if they don't, because they will look like bad daughter-in-laws. And then in addition to that, if you really like your mother-in-law, you know, there's no friction between you, but your husband is just forgetful or whatever, just is lazy. Like, you want to show her love, and because you've been conditioned as a woman to always be thinking about this stuff, that you want to appreciate her on her birthday or Mother's Day or whatever. So even if you want to send your own gift, you can't just do it without, hooking him in somehow. And he gets credit, It's so messed up. This is the thing that drives me nuts. So many women, when they need to get in touch with their sons or their brothers, they don't even bother going to the brother. They go through the wife. And it's so much extra labor. And, I don't really know how to fix it because I haven't personally been in that situation. Partly because it's impossible for me to be in that situation because of the language barrier, which is why I said in my last video, there's very few, advantages to not being fluent, totally fluent in the language of your partner if you're living in their home country. One of the amazing advantages of being, marrying into that family is that you just don't know what's happening most of the time. No one expects anything of you. And as a woman in patriarchy, where everyone just assumes you're going to do so much, if you're like, what? Blah, I don't know what's happening. No one expects that of you. My in-laws actually, when I go over to their place, they never expect me to help out. In fact, anytime I have ever tried, usually they're like, no. They're almost insulted because I'm a guest. That wasn't just in the beginning. That's still how it is years into our marriage. I mean, it's not like I just sit there and watch everyone do everything. If all of us are cleaning the table, I'm going to clean the table. In general, I am not expected to help out at all unless it's a family effort, including the men. And so I'm also not expected to be the go-between between my husband and his mom or his sister or anyone else. I don't think I would be anyway because he's, close with both of them. But on occasion, I've had to be in terms of logistics and planning, I'm like, hey, can you please text your mom and tell her to ask if they're available to take care of the dog this weekend, because I am thinking farther ahead than he is. And he's actually learned, because we're both deconstructing this stuff, how to anticipate things farther ahead, because he didn't realize for a little while that I was doing more of that work anticipating, but because of the language barrier, it's still not on me to do that stuff. So now he is actually anticipating it and is still the direct line of contact. But I can't tell you how many women I know who get texts from their sister-in-laws, their mother-in-laws, and all these people who are trying to get in touch with their husband, and their husband is either too lazy or just, doesn't get around to it, because that seems to be the one gripe of almost every woman I know is their husband just puts things off. And until they know they're going to get in trouble for not doing it, they just won't do it, which is So annoying. And where men, even the most progressive man, needs to step up. Stop waiting to do stuff until your wife is like, hey, you know, that is the work that I swear every man has to work on. Because women are usually like 10 steps ahead of their partners. But when you bring all of this stuff into being a daughter-in-law, holy crap, man. We are not our husband's secretaries. And again, I feel very blessed that I do not struggle with this, but it seems like a common gripe among so many women is like, oh, they know he's not going to text them back, so they don't even text him. They text me first. If you're a man and you follow my contact, do not put your wife in this position. And if you're a woman in this position, bounce that text back to them. I don't know, you should ask him, something like that. Because women I know who were in that kind of weird dynamic, they stopped playing into it. It's not always easy to break out of it, and sometimes with certain things you just have to because something needs to get done. But like, stop letting your in-laws make you his secretary. If you can, pull out of that role, because they're just going to keep doing it because of the way that women are conditioned to know, just go to the woman because he's not going to do anything, and then just don't care, and those let women take care of everything. That dynamic just so easily becomes the default. You shouldn't be buying his mom's birthday presents or Mother's Day presents. And you know what? If he waits too long and all the stores are closed because he waited till the day of to get her present, and so he gets a really ridiculously stupid present, well, let him look stupid. Or maybe get your own separate present for your mother-in-law if you really like it, and then let it be from you. And let him sit with his stupid present and you give her a thoughtful present. I don't know, man. This stuff is so funny. It's so funny how much this patriarchy stuff plays out in like the most insidious ways. And like I said in the last minute, it's like whack-a-mole. It's constantly just like, oh, there it is, there it is, there it is, there it is, there it is. It's in everything. Women should stop having to be the diplomats in their families, because they certainly aren't getting paid for all that labor they're doing to smooth over the relationship between their husband and his family, because our time is valuable. If you want more content about like in-law relationships and stuff like this, I'm going to tag a couple of my mutuals who talk a lot about this. Stop making women do everything.